it goes up for auction, and the reserve is 10 cents. I bet this is the best weeping silver birch you've ever seen. Fabulous cascading foliage, thick and luxurious. Look at that fabulous white trunk there. But do you know what? It was for sale. It was $699. But what's going to happen at our Grow Direct flash sale this Friday at 12 o'clock, it goes up for auction, and the reserve is 10 cents. It could go for $400. It could go for $300. In fact, it could even go for $200 or $100, maybe only $50. Who knows? It's an interesting thing. People can't bid more than $5, so they can't suddenly slam down $100. So if you want to get the biggest, best weeping birch, you've never seen a better one than this, bid at our auction, 12 o'clock Friday, Grow Direct flash sale. Wow! Don't wait, the garden's calling. Click now, tap the link and let's go. Right now is the very best time of year to plant. A lot of people think springtime is the best time of year to plant, but I'll explain to you that why right now is the best time to plant. What you've got right now is you've got your autumn rains are coming, the weather's cooled down, we've got long cool nights, but we still have nice warm days. The soil is warm. So if you plant a plant right now, it goes into warm soil. Evaporation is less than half of what it was 6 weeks ago. So you've got low evaporation rate, so you water your new plant in, it's in warm soil, you water it in, and you don't have to water it every day or anything like that. Give it a bit of fertilizer, and if you were to pull that plant out after only 10 or 12 days, you'll find that new little white roots are starting to grow, because plants love warm soil. And the other reason why it's great to plant right now is that from now till Christmas time, Melbourne and Victoria tends to be fairly moist and not too cold and not too hot. So the plant has a nice gentle time establishing. It grows its roots in autumn and into the winter, and then in springtime, that nicely established little plant is going to rocket away, and you get that full spring growth. Whereas if you plant in springtime, the plant isn't really established, and then it's only a matter of weeks and you're into your hot summer weather, and the plant could struggle a little. Whereas your well-established plant that's grown strongly in the springtime is going to romp through next summer. So right now is the very best time to plant. Don't wait, the garden's calling. Click now, tap the link and let's go. Now's the time to shop online at Hello Hello. If you were to spend over $99 at Hello Hello right now, you would get this magnificent Chef's Choice Rosemary. Fabulous fragrance, beautiful flavour, valued at $30. And then if you were to spend over $199, you'd get this beautiful Japanese maple, red autumn colour, beautiful shape, valued at $89.99. And then if you were to spend $299, you'd get this beautiful pure silk Sasanqua camellia. Now it's covered in the most gorgeous little buds, and those buds are going to come out as beautiful pale pink and white flowers. Lovely foliage, very, very versatile, valued at $149.99, free when you spend $299. And then when you spend $399, you get this gorgeous forest pansy. And your forest pansy has fabulous pink blossom in springtime, and then purple heart-shaped leaves right through the summer and right into late autumn. Absolutely amazing. And these are really sought after. This one here is valued $229 when you get over $399. What incredible value. So now's the time to shop online at Hello Hello. Don't wait, the garden's calling. Click now, tap the link and let's go. This is one of the most talked about plants on my socials, and believe it or not, it's an Australian native. And what it is, I call it Zen moss, and what it does is it grows up above the snow line in Victoria, say Mount Buller, and it gets covered and buried in snow in the winter, and then after the snow melts, it's exposed to full hot sun. It loves the full hot sun, and it grows in cracks in the rocks that have sort of got gravelly, well-drained soil. So to really enjoy this, you plant it in a nice warm sunny spot, nice loose well-drained soil, a little bit of fertilizer and plenty of water, and you've got this beautiful fast growing mossy mound that you can grow in a pot, grow it underneath as an understory under another plant in a pot, or grow it in the garden, plant an enormous ground cover of it, do whatever you want. It's one of the most versatile plants around, and it's lovely. People love it, and I notice it even attracts children. I'll be walking around the nursery sometimes and we'll have a display of this, and I'll come across a little child just patting it. So Zen moss puts a beautiful sort of Zen feeling into your garden. Great in your Zen style gardens. Zen moss, beautiful. Don't wait, the garden's calling. delivery. Let's go.
Hi Chris, I plant these. It doesn't seem to work. It doesn't seem to grow. And I'm just wondering what you can advise.
Okay, you've got a problem that lots and lots of Australians have got. Have a look out here. See these big gum trees here?
Yep.
Australia's a very dry continent,
Yes.
and what they're good at is they're good at finding where the water is and taking their roots out and grabbing the water and grabbing all the fertilizer. Right now the gum tree's stealing and taking them all, and that's why they look so sad.
But it's actually in this look like a pot by itself. It's not even into the
No,
ground.
but this is a retaining wall here.
All right, hey everyone, welcome to our live question and answers with Chris, the horticultural expert. Here we're doing it on a Tuesday because Monday was a public holiday, but thank you for joining us, for those of you who are with us, and this is your opportunity to ask Chris a gardening question, or if you have any questions related to your garden, please shoot them through in the comment section right now and Chris will happily answer them for you. How are you doing today, Chris?
Great, thank you. Really, really good. Beautiful day, and beautiful week ahead. It's not so hot, it's cooled down a bit. People are getting back into gardening. Like we're busy, you know, it was a bit quieter a few weeks ago. It's quite busy with lots of people coming in, looking for garden designs, buying plants, and also with Easter looming, Easter's your big weekend. It's your big back to the garden weekend. There's lots of people getting quotes and placing orders and that, because we're open and delivering every day over Easter.
Absolutely, it's a very exciting time indeed to get ready for the garden, and you've got to sort of, you said it was like an Indian summer this year, you've got a slow warm down sort of weather with cool
and
nights.
that's what you want, because what it is, our plants at the moment, the evaporation rate is quite low, so evaporation rate is low and slow, and so we've got low evaporation rate and we've got warm conditions. So if you plant now, you don't have to water every day. You plant now, plants will take root and take off immediately, and you'll have them beautifully settled in, and by the time spring comes around they'll take off and grow beautifully, and come summer you'll have a nice big bushy garden.
Yeah, that's right. It's time to plant right now, because you're going to get your roots established and then everything's going to take off in spring. Just while we're waiting for more questions to come through, keep the questions coming in the comment section. You want to tell us about the natives there, Chris?
Well, actually, I'm celebrating something. What it is going back 10 or 12 years ago when we laid this nursery out, natives weren't that popular, and so what we did was we put the native nursery we have like a whole native nursery. We put it right out the back. At any rate, natives are becoming more and more popular, particularly with younger people, and a lot of migrants have really just come to the country. They want native plants, and so we've got a fabulous range of beautiful natives. So you see just a few of them around here now, and what we've done is we've put them all at the front of the nursery. We did it last week. We flipped it around and we put natives right out the front, and gee, it's been popular. There's been people up there. They've been coming into the nursery and filling up with natives.
Beautiful. Yeah, come on in, and if you get a chance, you live nearby, you live in Melbourne, come on in, 1477 Sydney Road, Campfield, and you can check out our massive selection of plants and also that native plant section Chris is talking about at the front of the nursery there. All right, guys, well, feel free. This is your opportunity to ask Chris any gardening questions you might have. We might kick it off with one question here from Katie asking, what are some great seasonal plants that I can start planting now that will look beautiful over the winter months in Queensland?
Winter months in Queensland. You know, I was just thinking, your African daisies planted now, you're over the worst of the heat and the wet. You plant your African daisies now, and they'll give you beautiful flowers right through the winter time. And then apart from that, you could be looking at, you'll find violas can actually go year after year, and violas would be really good at the moment. So violas give you a terrific show through the winter, and in Queensland they do fabulously, and African daisy is really, really good for a nice winter show. And what's good about violas and African daisies is both are perennials, and you can use them year after year.
Wow. All right, there you go, Katie. So you can keep using those year after year. And will they complement each other in terms of the rotational period of flowering, or will they flower at the same time?
They'll both give you good winter flowering. And with the African daisies, they've been breeding them over the last few years, and there's incredible range. My favourite is 3D blueberry. If people want to Google a look at that, beautiful, beautiful daisy. Sort of
Oh yeah, that's got the 3D eye. It's got the eye in the middle of it.
Yeah,
Yes, that's right.
And there's a 3D white that I really like too. So so that's, I mean, but there's dozens of really good ones around, and so if you go down to your local nursery and try out some of those African daisies and some of your violas.
Beautiful. And just for those of you who might have joined us, this is our live Q&A with Chris, where you can ask him a question. Just drop the question down in the comments section, and we'll get to your questions shortly. But keep them rolling in, guys. Don't be shy. Chris is here to answer your gardening questions. Katie just followed up with, when you say you can use the mirror year after year, do you have to collect the seeds?
No, they both
Or do you
of
chop
those,
them back?
Those both, you cut them back at the end of the season, feed them, and they'll grow back again and give you another whole crop of flowers.
Perfect. There you go, Katie. It seems pretty straightforward. All right, fantastic. We'll move along to our next question here from Tim, asking, how do I know if a plant is growing too slowly?
I guess you've got to understand that particular plant, and like the other day somebody was saying that they didn't want to plant a ginkgo because they're very, very slow growing.
Yeah.
And most people would think that a ginkgo is slow growing, but what's interesting, ginkgos, I was brought up in the Dandenongs, and people would plant a ginkgo and it'd grow like an inch or two a year. And then eventually I was traveling in China, and I discovered that ginkgos, where they grow naturally, is in areas with high summer rainfall and high pH. And I've discovered that if you get your ginkgo and put lots of dolomite lime on it and give it plenty of water in the summer, they grow like crazy, and they can be a fast growing tree. And so I guess what you need to do is if you study where a tree comes from, or where a bush or something comes from, and try and understand it, then you can get them to grow very quickly. Like silver birches, for instance, given exactly the right conditions when they're young, can grow 2 meters in a year.
Wow.
And
That's
but
crazy.
if you don't do it exactly right, so I guess the trick is to find out where they come from, how they work, and then compare. So silver birches, you can get them. You can buy one that's 3 foot tall, and with having grass and weeds around it and not much water or fertilizer, it can only grow an inch a year or 2 inches a year. But they can grow 2 meters a year when you do it exactly right.
Amazing. And so you're saying in China, how did they grow? Like they'll go berserk,
they grow in the region that has got lots of ginkgos in it in China is an area where the soil tends to have a high pH or medium to high pH, sort of 7 or 8 or something,
wow.
7.5, and high pH and summer rainfall. And given those two things, ginkgos are quite fast growing. I've seen them grow like a meter in a year.
Wow, there you go. All right, that's an awesome answer. So hopefully that helps you out there, Tim. All right, great. So don't forget to keep your gardening questions rolling in the comments section, and Chris is going to answer them live for you here on the show. Anthea asks, when should I cut back my crepe myrtle and how?
Okay, so now this is a great one for lots of people. What happens with crepe myrtles is that lots of people, you see crepe myrtles and they're kind of all sort of twiggy and sticky, and they don't have much flowers. And what happens with your crepe myrtle is when it gets old, if it's got lots of twigs and branches and you don't trim it, the foliage seems to become small and the flowers become scarce and not very big. And if you cut it really back quite hard, get rid of all the little branches and twigs off it and really cut it back hard all over, water and fertilize it as it moves away in the spring, you get beautiful luscious green foliage on it and great big flower spikes like this and mountains of flowers. So it
really?
seems,
wow.
Some things when you prune them you lose the blossom, but with them, and there was a lady near an old lady near where I live, where I walk the dog, and she used to prune hers back to just like sticks that were about,
really?
Cut it off like that, no twigs at all. And in that way she kept her trees quite small, and then they'd shoot back in the springtime and covered in beautiful foliage and flowers. So the trick with them is cut them hard, and I'd say you cut them hard late June, early July, and then away they come in spring, and they really seem to like hard pruning.
That's amazing. And do they still get that nice bark and everything that
Yeah,
they...
you still get the nice bark, because the nice bark occurs on the thicker branches and stems.
Okay, there you go, Anthea. There you go. So that's the answer there for you. If you miss any of today's live, you can rewatch it on YouTube. Just head over to YouTube, search Hello Hello Plants, and you'll see our channel there. Just click on the lives. You can see all of our lives that we've conducted. So if you've just joined us, it's our live question and answer with Chris, where you can get an encyclopedia worth of gardening information off Chris's mind here. Feel free to ask any gardening questions and we'll get them answered for you as soon as we can. All right, so Sally asks, what should I do if my plant's leaves start curling?
I guess it depends what sort of plant it is. Like, say for instance, bamboo. If bamboo leaves curl up, it's dry, and water, spray some water. So very often, it would depend what type of plant. I'd love to know what sort of plant it is. Often with citrus, it'll be some sort of deficiency, a nutrient deficiency. So it would vary with all different plants, and then some plants, like I noticed some.
She's just said climbing wisteria.
Climbing wisteria. I'd say if my climbing wisteria was, they have a very extensive root system, and I'd say it's run out of water. We've had a long, hot, dry summer, and so with the climbing wisteria, I'd sprinkle a bit of fertilizer around it, and then I'd give it a deep soak. And a great way, where something's dry down deep, a great way to get it moist down deep is to sprinkle a light sprinkle of all round where the roots are. And wisteria roots are quite extensive. They're not bad. They're not big fat roots, but they're quite extensive. So sprinkle some soil wetter all around. Get yourself a socket hose. They're really cheap down at Bunnings. Get yourself a socket hose, plug it in, turn it on low, and do it half an hour a night for 4 or 5 nights, and you'll have water down a metre deep, and those leaves will uncurl. What's going to happen with your wisteria, if it's curling now, if you don't get that water down deep, the leaves will drop off early and you'll lose the end of your growing season, and it'll weaken your plant slightly. So soil wetter, socket hose, half an hour a night for 4 or 5 days, and you'll be wet down deep.
Okay, there you go. That's awesome. That's for you, Sally, on your wisteria there curling up. Just needs a bit of water, and the socket hose, that's a really good idea as well. Big shout outs to Christine, sent us a heart me. Thank you for that, Christine. And also thank you to Stan Downaville. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Sent you a rose.
Thank you, Stan. Much appreciated.
And then Emma just says no question, but just to say you are a legend, Chris.
Thank you, Emma. Thank you for the acknowledgement. And next week, try and think up a good question for me. Thank you.
Well, I mean, you could ask it now if you want. We've still got a few more minutes, but thank you for the comment, Emma. Kat asks, why won't my 4-year-old weeping cherry never blossom in spring?
4 years old. 4 years old, it should be blossoming. I would like to see a photo of it. I'd like to see a photo of it and see if like.
You reckon it's struggling?
Look, it could be anything. Like how they make a weeping cherry is that they graft a weeping cherry onto a sort of a wild cherry understock, and if the understock's taken over, that could be the problem. There should be some blossom on a weeping cherry. So I would love to. The only way I reckon I could solve that is if you worked out a way that you can get me a photo, and I saw a photo of it, and a couple of photos, even the ground around it. Have a look at it. But I'd like to see some photos, and I might be able to work out what's wrong. And what I'm worried about is that it could be that it's not really a weeping cherry at all. It could be the understock. Yeah,
that could be a problem. You can shoot us a picture to our sales email, which is sales@hellohelloplants.com.au, Kat. And we can get Chris to have a look. Just attention it to Chris.
Yeah, and if I can work out what the problem is, I'll tell you next week, next Monday, when we do this again at 12 o'clock. If I could find the answer. But I'm suspicious that it's not really a weeping cherry. If the head sort of packs it in, and you just have wild cherry at the top. It's not really a weeping cherry anymore.
Yeah, you might have a wild cherry, yes. All right, send us a picture, Kat. We can have a look at it for you here. All right, good. Next question comes to us from Christine. She's the one who sent you the heart me, actually. Can I grow hibiscus in grow bags?
Yes, hibiscus. They're hungry plants. They want good potting mix, plenty of fertilizer. Osmocote's great. Bit of power feed's terrific. Hot sunny spot, and they're wonderful plants.
All right, there you go, Christine. That's a nice, easy answer for you. So yes, you can do that. Kat's just asking, what's the email again? You can just shoot it through to sales@helloplants.com.au. I'll drop it in the comment section for you, and you can just shoot it there, and we can take a look at the picture of your weeping cherry. All right, good. So the next question comes to us from Pete. And by the way, if you've just joined us, we're doing a live question and answer with Chris. So if you have a gardening question and you want a helpful answer, you can drop a comment in the comment section right now and Chris will answer it for you. All right, so Pete asks, why are my teddy bear magnolia leaves going like a black spot colour?
Black spots. What I wonder is they're a very hardy, trouble-free plant, but at this time of year, black spots on the leaves, that could be sunburn, and sunburn seems to occur on the teddy bears if they're underwater. The problem with your teddy bear, like if you've got a rose and the rose dries out, the flowers fall apart and the leaves droop. It kind of roses can talk to you. They can say, "Hey, Chris, I'm dry," because they all look sort of saggy and baggy. But the problem with the teddy bear magnolia is that it doesn't wilt. It doesn't do anything. But when it dries out real bad, it'll get big black spots on it where it sunburns, and then those black spots will turn brown. And so I would be worried. And then so I would say if I had that problem, I'd put some soil wetter around it. I'd use my soak it hose and I'd go for a deep soak. I'd put the soil wetter on and I'd give it a half hour burst every day. A half hour burst every day of soak it hose over with some soil wetter on it, and get the moisture down deep. And what it is, I'd get some Osmocote into it, because if you can get it growing, you can grow all new leaves and grow out of that situation. And then next summer when it's hot and dry, make sure you get some deep water in there. Use your soak it hose and get the water down nice and deep.
So that's a sign of dryness, is it?
The black spots on teddy bears, yeah, and I've seen it before. And
Right,
those black spots then turn brown.
Oh wow, okay. And then he just asks, is wetting the foliage good for the
No,
teddy bear?
you got to wet them roots down deep.
All right, just go for the roots. Yeah, don't worry about the foliage. All right, beauty. All right, next question comes to us from Depti, asking, how do I reduce slugs and snails in my garden?
My mum was a member of the Horticulture Society in Ferny Creek, and there's lots of really knowledgeable old gardeners up there, and they would share information with each other. And what one lady was doing was she used to get saucers and half bury them in the garden, and she used to tip beer into them, and the slugs and snails would come and they'd have a little sip on the edge there and think, this is terrific, this beer, and then they'd crawl in further, and before they know it, they'd be in over their heads and gone.
Wow.
And so she used beer to control the slugs and snail. And what's a good idea is you only need a small amount of beer to go in the saucer, so you can polish off the rest. You sort of fill up a couple of saucers and then the rest is yours. And so it's not such a bad solution.
Well, it depends if Depti drinks beer or not, but
yeah. But anyway, so
so
that's one possibility. But apart from that, you've got your slug and snail bait. And what's good these days is they've got stuff that doesn't poison the pets. And
what if the dog gets in there and laps up a VB or something?
Well, the VB's not going to hurt the dog too bad.
But the poison for the slugs and that would, wouldn't it? Yeah.
But there are slug and snail poisons that don't affect the dog and the cat. So if you're careful about what you purchase, the next thing is your poisons. You know, putting out some slug and snail poison.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And that's really all you can do is work to get rid of them.
Yeah, that sounds like a good. Actually, we have if you head over to our website, helloplants.com.au, there's a really good article on that we covered what Chris is saying about the getting rid of the slugs with the beer technique, and there's a few other little sort of what would you call them, like home style remedies.
Sort of funky down home style remedies.
Yeah, we did an article on that, so check it out on our website. Pavel asks, do you have tube stock of the lime larva?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I haven't got it up online, but yes, I do have tube stock of the lime larva.
All right, Pavel, just what do you want? Do you want them to call us and talk to them on the sales staff?
Yeah.
Yep, 039359 3331. You can make an order if you like, and we'll get that sorted out for you. Pete just circled back saying thank you very much, and then says for my teddy bears, what Osmocote should I be using? Is there a particular type?
I just use the all-purpose.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just go to the all-purpose then. Oh, okay,
and
Deputy.
Get a decent dose. Say you've got them, and say they're 1.5 meters tall.
Yeah.
I reckon you could use 2 nice full tablespoons on them.
Okay, 2 tablespoons on a 1.5 meter tall one. All right, Pete. Depending on the size. Yeah, saying thank you. No worries, Pete. You're welcome. And Deputy just asked, do you ship plants to Sydney?
I used to, and we're working, at the moment there's some restrictions on shipping stuff, but we're working on qualifying so that we can go back to ship. So hopefully in a few weeks we should be able to ship to Sydney again.
All right, wonderful. And then Pavel's also asking, do you ship to Canberra for tube stocks?
We're working on it. Right now, no.
Okay. Yeah, there's a quarantine situation.
Quarantine. We've just got to get qualified to go through the quarantine.
All right, no worries. All right, hang in there, guys. We'll get you that shipping as soon as that's all cleared up. But you can call us at any time if you want to find out. 039359 3331. All right, keep the gardening questions rolling in. Chris is happy to answer them for you here live on the show. So leave us a question in the comments section. Gardening question, and Chris will happily answer it live. Gary asks, what's the best way to protect plants from strong afternoon sun?
Most plants will take strong afternoon sun if they're properly watered. So I guess the starting point so first of all, there's things that really don't like strong afternoon sun, and that would be things like azaleas, hydrangeas, clivias, hellebores or winter roses. There's a whole range of plants that don't like it, but most plants love the hot afternoon sun if they've got adequate moisture. So what I would say is having nice loose good soil, like mixing a bit of potting mix in when you're planting, having beautiful loose soil that water and roots, that the roots can spread in and the water can penetrate.
Yeah.
Like when people are buying big weeping Japanese maples, I tell them to plant them up nice and high in the hole, dig a really big deep hole and mix lots of potting mix through there so that the roots can spread. It's got loose soil and the roots can spread easily, and then with that loose soil, when you water it, the water goes in and the plants can find the water. So I would say that with most plants that love hot sun, if they're properly watered, it would be cultivation of the soil, having loose, nice soil, and then putting enough water on that they've got enough water to motor through the heat. And then you'll find most plants, given hot sun, that's why like Mildura and the Riverina are kind of capitals for growing grapes and orchards and all sorts of things, because the plants love the hot sun.
And they get irrigated off the Murray, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so hot sun with a bit of water, and you're in business. And then you've just got to identify those plants that and I just mentioned a few of them. You identify those plants that don't like the hot sun, and you don't put them in the hot sun, because even with water, you might still be in trouble.
Yeah, cool. All right, there you go, Gary. Keep the questions rolling in on this live question and answer with Chris.
In a word, his answer is water and good deep cultivation, having lovely loose soil.
All right, beautiful. And then we've got a question here. I can't read the username back, but it's what are the signs that a plant needs better drainage?
That's interesting. That's an interesting question. say a plant like a silver birch, or say a plant like a silver sheen potassium, this is what I use, and it's kind of it's not an absolute rule, it's a sort of rule. What happens is often they'll buy some silver birches or they'll buy some potassiums, some silver sheen potassiums, and then a week or two later they ring you up and say, oh look, they're dying back. So what I say to them is, are they dying back from the top? Now if they're dying back from the top, they probably ran out of water.
Yeah.
Or are they dying back from the bottom? Are the leaves browning and falling off from the bottom and travelling up that way? And as a general rule with most plants, dying from the bottom up is wet feet.
Okay.
And then dying...
That's interesting. So it goes from the bottom up would be wet feet.
And when they die from the top down, that means that they ran right out of water, they wilted, and then they did a leaf drop.
Oh, that's a really good indicator. It's easy to follow.
Yeah, that's right. So plants with wet feet. Now the only complication in that is the other time when they die up from the bottom is where they have not quite enough water every day for a long time. They have some water but not quite enough, and then they'll tend to die from the bottom up. But basically, generally speaking, bottom up dying is
wet feet,
and top down dying is run out of water.
All right.
Suddenly ran out of water.
Suddenly ran out. It's top down. Okay. Yeah. And wet feet's bottom up. That's a really good indicator. All right, guys, keep those gardening questions rolling in. We get some really interesting answers here today. This is live. Chris is live right now, and your question could be answered live on today's show. Jumping over to a question from Marie, who asks, when is the best time to plant hedging? Thinking lily-pilly or something like this.
Okay, so if you're in Victoria, right now is the prime time for planting. And the reason why, you might think, well, gee, summer's not quite over, like it is over, but it's not really quite over, it's still a bit hot. But in actual fact, what's happened, we've got long, cool nights, warm days, and the evaporation rate would be 30 or 40% of what it was 6 or 8 weeks ago. Like the evaporation rate's fallen by 50, 60, 70%. And so basically it's very easy to keep and plants love warmth and moisture. Warmth and moisture is a secret for growing plants. So if you plant a plant now and you water it in, you keep it moist, put a bit of fertilizer in with it, work up the soil nicely, and you were to dig that plant up, say 3 weeks from now, you'd find it be covered in new roots. Basically your plant roots and gets going right now, and it loves the combination of moisture and warmth. So and particularly that will apply for an evergreen hedge. So if you plant your evergreen hedge right now, and that lily-pillies, that would include, it will start rooting and getting going, and it'll keep rooting and establishing itself right through the winter till the spring. And then when spring comes and it warms up again, you'll find that with that new root system, it's going to romp away, and by next summer, you've got a beautiful, vigorous lily-pilly or green hedge.
Yeah, so get it in now, Marie, and that should get it nice and established for you by next year. That sounds perfect. All right, then we've got a question here from Mary. These names are similar, I'm getting confused with them. So Mary says, I have a nasty that appears in my lily and ginger. I don't know what type of lily that is, just says lily and ginger for the last few years that I haven't been able to get rid of, that decimates the plant. It is big, striped, yellow, blackish, and white stripes. How to do it, or get rid of it, I guess.
It sounds like a stink bug or something like that.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It sounds odd, and if it's big.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be the other thing. What's the other thing that it's, if it's a lily-pilly, it's not that. But it doesn't say it's a lily-pilly, so I don't know.
No, it's ginger, and so it's a bulb.
Yeah, ginger or a bulb, is it?
And something like, it's pretty hard to knock something like that. What I would do, it's a funny thing, Bunnings have gone very environmentally friendly with their sprays and poisons and things like that.
Really?
And a lot of their sprays won't actually kill anything, but they're safe. And so the trick is go down to Mitre 10, show them what you've got, and get them to prescribe something. Basically, it sounds like a sort of a beetle-y kind of stink bug. It'll take a fairly heavy whack. In the old days, we would have used carbaryl to knock that off. That's not really readily available to the public anymore. But you'll need something you'll need something a little bit heavy duty, and you'll find that those heavy duty sprays are still available at Mitre 10.
All right, beautiful. There
Or
you
you
go.
go somewhere like E.E. Muir and Sons, who also handle your
It's Mary's saying it's a Caterpillar.
Caterpillar. Now that's
a bit
interesting.
different, isn't it? Yeah.
So what it is, if you go to a professional chemical place, one that deals with horticulture, there's a product called Diapal. Now Diapal is biological warfare. Now that sounds kind of scary, but what's good is you spray. I've used Diapal when I've had a bad caterpillar problem, and what happens? And it's not available generally commercially, or generally in a retail environment. It's something that growers can use. But the beautiful thing is that it's not actually a poison. It's a nasty stomach bug that you don't catch it yourself, but the caterpillars catch it, and they're munching away on your stuff. You spray on your Diapal, and within minutes they feel sick in the stomach and they stop eating, and then within hours they're dead.
How do you deliver it to them? Is it through a spray?
You just mix it up in a spray pack and spray it over the top, and so
What's it called again? Just
Diapal.
Diapal. All right.
Diapal, and basically it's a spray that it's a biological control that knocks out knocks them out, gives them terrible indigestion or whatever it is, and it kills them. Killer indigestion.
How do you spell that, please? Says Mary.
Diapel.
Diapel. Okay. There you go. And we're going to put it in the
And
comment
the sort of
section
place
for you.
you'd buy that would be a place like E.E. Muir and Sons, or any sort of professional agricultural, horticultural chemical company.
Yeah. Yeah, if you know it's caterpillars, that's definitely going to do the trick. All right, beautiful. So next question comes to us from Pavel. What are the best plants to plant this season in my garden? I'm especially interested in cut flower plants that will produce flowers across multiple seasons and ideally come back every year without needing to be replanted.
Well, you might need to replant them a little bit, but your old-fashioned right now, it might be in a few weeks, what you'll find is some of the people like the Blue Dandenong Bulb Farm or Tesla's will be selling dahlias. And the modern dahlias that we tend to sell in the retail store are little tiny ones that are kind of cute and nice, but they're not much good for cut flowers.
When do they start selling them, Teslas?
When they dig them up, it might be another 6 weeks or so, but anyway, dahlias, my mum was really into flower arranging, and dahlias are one of the best things for great flower arrangements. She had quite a collection of tubers, and you dig them up every couple of years, split them up, you fertilise them and plant them. But really, really easy to grow, and I reckon that's one of the best plants for cut flowers. And then so some of your bulby things are quite good, like gladiolas are really great. I know Barry Humphries made them very, very popular, the old Gladdy.
Yeah.
But gladiola is great in a flower arrangement.
What are they? I don't even know. Are they old-fashioned, are they?
Yeah, gladiolas, they're sort of strings of flowers and kind of green leaves and stringy kind of flowers.
Oh, wow.
So, you could go, gladiolas and dahlias would be a really good starting point. And these days in the nursery, there's not many sort of great cut flower plants on offer, but let me think. Lilacs are, my mum used to love lilacs in the springtime, so a nice purple lilac bush. The white lilac flowers don't seem to last long enough, but a purple or mauve lilac would be a wonderful cut flower.
Yeah, Pavel's in Canberra too. Would these still apply?
Yeah,
Similar, yeah.
Very much so. So you could look at Blue Dandenong Bulb Farm or one of those for dahlias and gladiolas. And even daffodils and jonquils. Daffodils and jonquils are on the market now. And your jonquils in particular, they don't need digging up so much. You can plant them and leave them in for 20 or 30 years, no problems.
Awesome. All right, there you go, Pavel. Hopefully that helps you as a selection of different cut flowers you could use. And feel free to, if you want to rewatch any of the answers to this live, you can head over to head over to YouTube and just search Hello Plants, and you'll find our channel there, and you can just select the live. Once we're finished here, this will be published. If you need to hear the answer, any of Chris's answers, to your questions here again today. All right, we're probably going to do a couple more questions. Next one here is.
I was just
Oh,
thinking,
yeah, go on, yeah.
another good cut flower that really is lovely. I did a video on them recently. Is Shasta Daisy, and that's a beautiful, brilliant white, great big daisy. Flowers late spring, early summer. Beautiful show in the garden and lovely to cut and bring in store.
Yeah, perfect. Marie's back with another question. What's the best hedge for part shade and part sun? I want something beautiful.
The best hedge for part shade and part sun. Best hedge for part shade. Part shade and part sun, I want something beautiful. Let me think. I reckon I've got two that I really like. And these will take full hot sun and deep shade or part shade so they can move from one to the other. And that is the cherry laurel. And the cherry laurel has beautiful big luscious foliage, and also with big luscious foliage, your sweet viburnum. So sweet viburnum, fabulous luscious foliage, and fabulous luscious foliage. Loves the shade, loves the sun, grows quickly, and makes a gorgeous hedge.
Sweet viburnum. Okay, cool. What was the first one?
Cherry laurel.
Cherry laurel. Okay, yeah, they're both perfect. And we've actually done videos on both of those, which you can check out online. Just search Hello Plants plus the plant name, so sweet, in this case, sweet viburnum or cherry laurel. All right, cool. We're going to go rapidly through a couple more questions. Just as one, Sean made a comment. He said he's been waiting for his delivery for 8 weeks, and just keep on getting told the plants will show up. What would you suggest for him?
We've got a chap who sorts it out.
He wants to know if we're improving that system.
We are working on that at the moment. But what we'll do is I'm sure that I can get that sorted out. If I can get a name, like name and address and order number, and I'll get it sorted out for you.
Yeah, probably best, Sean, if you like to give us a call, 039359 331, and just leave your details.
And ask to speak to Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne will be able to help you out.
Myself.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right, let's move along to, we've got a couple more questions we'll go through here. So Sarah asks, what should I plant along my driveway? I have 5 ornamental capital pears and lollipop lily pilly. And then it continues, I have dichondra and salvia planting under the pears, but wondering for the rest of the driveway. So you got 5 ornamental capital pears trees and lollipop lily pillies, and then they have dichondra and salvia planting under the pears, but wondering for the rest of the driveway. I guess you need to know how long the driveway is, don't you? Or,
I reckon.
Or to complement those things.
You know, if they popped in on the weekend, they could make an appointment with me and pop in with some photos and measurements, and I reckon I could work out a perfect combination for them. But I'd like to do if I did something off the cuff right now, it might be good, it might not be. You know, but whereas if I'm looking at the photos, and I was doing lots of those impromptu ones, but they could make an appointment to see me, say early this coming Sunday.
Yep.
And I would not charge, like I think we'd only need 10 or 15 minutes looking at some photos and things like that.
Yeah.
I was doing last weekend, I was doing lots of little impromptu 10 and 15 minute designs for people, and I was really helping them.
Great.
And
Sarah,
I enjoyed doing it. And I think they could even make an appointment with me Sunday morning, no problem.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Sarah. Maybe go to our website, helloplants.com.au, and go to the garden design tab.
That's where you've got to pay $100. Ring up here and make an appointment.
All right, cool. Give us a call, 039359.
Because we only need 10 or 15 minutes, whereas that's the big 45-minute one if they book online.
Gotcha. All right, Sarah, give us a call, 039359 331, and we'll be able to appoint you over the weekend.
Yeah.
And probably best for Chris to have a look at it before he makes a suggestion. All right, we're just going to answer a couple more here. Mary asks, suggestions for 4-metre high tree for privacy in Sydney. Fastish growing, not too wide. How about an ivory curl tree? What's that? I don't even know what that
Ivory
is.
curl, that's a great choice. Blueberry ash is also excellent. And really, really quick weeping lily pilly. So weeping lily pilly up there in a flash. Blueberry ash and ivory curl, great choices.
All right, excellent. There you go. And that's for you, Mary. Yeah, and then M. Blondes says, hey guys, best way to prevent scale on citrus?
I reckon clean them up with a bit of Conguard. Conguard is a systemic, so the scale is sucking, they're sucking on your citrus, so a spray, probably 2 sprays to guarantee it, just use it as per the instructions, spray it once, spray it a month later, and you'll clean it up.
All right, there you go. That was for M. Blawns, MB Lawns, I think it is. Yeah, it was Conguard, wasn't it, for that one?
Conguard, and also look at the packet and use whatever, it's quite a powerful systemic spray, so you'd want to use the correct withholding period in terms of eating your citrus.
Okay, there you go. MB
So if
Lawns,
you're madly fruiting at the moment, you might enjoy the fruit and then do the cleanup when your fruit's finished.
Yeah, when the fruit's finished. Okay,
But
good.
I'd be inclined to obey the withholding period.
Yeah. That's the same with pruning them too, isn't it? Wait until they're finished, like fruiting pretty much, and then going for it. Yeah. Lucy says, loving all the natives around you.
Oh, thank you. I am too. It's really nice. We're really celebrating natives because we've put a whole new native section out the front, and it's really, really gorgeous. And these days, like I remember the first job I had when I left school was working at Austraflora, which was the big native nursery in those days, and all the plants there were kind of big bushy kind of things. But now we've got lots of gorgeous, beautifully bred plants. A lot of them come back to the work they did at Austraflora, but lovely low spreading ground covers. And if you come in here, you'll see all those really modern, beautiful Australian natives, and you'll love it.
Yeah, we've got a whole section out the front. Come visit us. This week's going to be beautiful weather as well. 1477 Sydney Road, Campbellfield. Come and visit us. Only a hop, skip and a jump from the airport if you're coming interstate. All right, how many more questions do you want to do, Chris? The questions are coming in thick and fast now, but we do have to wrap up the show. Maybe do a couple more. You happy with that?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, good. So Hanisita, I don't know if that's how you say it, says, no sun on front yard. Which flowers can I put in there?
No sun, Clivia, Plectranthus, hydrangeas, winter rose, which is your hellebore, your silver beacon, lovely ground cover, your taro, your giant taro, which is sometimes known as elephant ears.
Yeah.
And one thing that looks really, really nice is the spiderweb aurelia. Beautiful white spiderweb pattern on a large leafy green plant.
Oh, and then all of your, good.
And then things like your Xanadu, your philodendron hope or your philodendron Xanadu, any of your philodendrons do fabulously there. So lots and lots of choices. It's really great having that shady area because there's just so many choices. Oh, another really good thing is and I use it a lot in my garden designs, is your New Zealand rock lily.
New Zealand rock lily, okay.
And then another thing is your ajuga.
Oh, yeah.
Your ajuga.
Purple one,
yeah. Sometimes called bugleweed, and that gives you lots of great colour, and that could be like your border in front of on your shady area. And then the other thing it does really well is either your silver dichondra or your green dichondra.
Perfect. All right, guys. Yeah, well, look, if you want to rehear any of Chris's answers, you can do that on YouTube, Hello Plants. Just after we finish live here, it'll be published up there. But that should help you out there, Hanista. I think I'm saying that correctly. User 605 says, how do I get my bougainvillea to bloom?
I think first thing is to grow it in a hot sunny spot.
Yeah.
And then I wonder where you are. I wonder.
Doesn't say.
If you're,
how do I get my bougainvillea
there's
to bloom?
areas in Victoria which are very marginal for growing bougainvillea, and some of you lovely bright varieties that are on the market don't do that well. In say you lived in Seymour or Bendigo or something like that.
I'm in Jamaica.
In Jamaica.
Wow. It's gone out of our league a bit there.
Yeah.
We get tropical weather in Jamaica.
Well, that's perfect for the bougainvillea. I'd water it and fertilise it, and away she goes.
Yeah. What would be the reason though it wouldn't be blooming in Jamaica though? Isn't that like perfect weather for them or?
Yeah, but I would say some sort of I just look at water and fertilizer. Like given that, you should have lots and lots of flowers on your bougainvillea.
So lots of watering and fertilising to get that bougainvillea
say
going.
in Melbourne, where in Victoria, where it's a bit marginal, there's a variety called Tralii, and that seems to flower and do really, really well almost anywhere in Victoria.
Wow, there you go. All right, look, we're gonna ask one more question to Chris here. This one, thank you for all the questions, guys, and we're doing our best to get through all of them. The next question here comes to us from Pavel. What methods can be used to stop trees from resprouting after they have been cut down?
Stump grinder. Well, it depends really on the type of tree.
Don't they just remove the whole root ball usually?
Yeah, but say for instance,
It's huge.
the most difficult tree when you chop it down is a robinia.
Oh yeah.
But what I tell people, but elms and all sorts of things, or every piece of root, and even if you get a stump grinder in, you might leave 500 or 600 pieces of root in the ground, and every single one of them has got sugar and energy in it, and it uses that sugar and energy to push up a sucker. Now, what the trick is don't just chop your suckers off and don't let them build up more sun's energy. So what happens if, say you chop down your robinia and it throws up lots of suckers, if you mow those suckers off or chop them off with a hoe or basically destroy them before they can photosynthesize and produce more sugar, after a year or two they'll just disappear. But if you let them grow up and have beautiful foliage for 2 or 3 months, that'll give them years worth of ability to keep shooting. So the thing is, basically, after you chop the tree down, chop off your suckers as soon as you see them. Don't let them photosynthesize, and they'll disappear pretty quick.
Awesome. There you go. Nice detailed answer for you, Pavel. And we might just we'll end it on this one here from Lucy, saying, I don't know if Hello plants have it, but I can't say Acalyphia reptans.
What?
Acalyphia reptans. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's pretty cool. Do you know if we have it?
No, I don't know it actually.
Let's have a look. Acalyphia reptans. It's this one here.
Oh right,
It's a type of native, isn't it?
We have had that in from time to time. Now, if you want something really unusual, something that we do is that we'll check into that. But what we do is that we have a service here that no other nursery has. It's called price and availability. And people ring up from all over Victoria and say, have you got? And I've got a team of 3 people that do nothing but research various things that people are looking after, and we can hand that to you. If you contact and ask for a P&A on that product, we'll tell you if we can supply it.
Perfect. All right, there you go.
And we've got 200 suppliers. It's pretty hard to find something we can't supply.
Yep. So you could do that, Lucy. Give us a call, 039359
Price availability. Ask for a price availability on that. And I've had them in the nursery from time to time.
We have before, they're really pretty.
Yeah,
they got those soft furry things on them.
Yeah, there's none here at the moment, but I'm sure we can get it.
Yeah, cool. There you go, Lucy. And Pavel says my land is on a slope, can't get stump grinder up there, no access.
Yeah, right. So as the things sucker, chop them off. Don't let them photosynthesize, and it'll be dead quick smart.
All right, cool. And then our friend from Jamaica says, cheers, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
It's 8:54 p.m. in Jamaica. I just looked up the time, I was curious. Yeah. All right, thanks everyone for joining us today. Appreciate it from around the world and also in Victoria and Melbourne. Do appreciate your questions. We'll be back actually next Monday. We just didn't do yesterday because of the public holiday, but we'll be back with another live question and answers with Chris if you want to join us there. 12 p.m. Standard Eastern Sydney or Australia time. What is it? Eastern Standard Time is what it's called. Australian Eastern Standard Time. 12 p.m. our time. So if you wanted to check us out there, we'll be back next Monday at that time. Other than that, we'll have another live Growers Direct flash sale this Friday, and we're doing an auction. If you do you want to say anything on that quickly before we go?
What we're doing is we're auctioning a beautiful what was it again? It's
weeping cherry.
Beautiful weeping cherry. It's a falling snow weeping cherry. What?
It's worth
It's an
$899.
$899 cherry, and we're putting it under the hammer with a reserve of 10 cents. Now, we don't know what it's going to. It might go for $500, might go for $400. We're hoping not, but it could go for $300, even $200, even $150. And what's interesting is, so to make it interesting and kind of difficult for people, we've made it so the minimum bid is 10 cents and the maximum bid is $5. And the last couple, basically, we've done 4 of these so far, and they've all gone off for about half the retail price.
Yeah, sometimes under half.
Well, some have been under half, and you can actually see me cry during the thing when they go.
Yeah, you get to see him crying live.
Yeah, and so, but mostly they seem to go off a bit under half or half, and it's because we only have $5 bids, so nobody can rush in and whack in $100 right at the end there.
Yeah.
And so you just have to keep bidding and hoping for the best. So,
all right, so 10-cent reserve on a $900 whipping cherry this Friday, 12 p.m.
Could go for 500, could go for 400, could go for 300, could go for 200, could go for 150.
That's right. Come join us then, guys, 12 p.m. Otherwise, next Monday for the live Q&A.
Theoretically, it could go for 10 cents.
It could, if no one bids on it. It could be a 10-cent win for somebody. Foliage Design says, thanks, I enjoyed the live today. You're welcome. All right, thanks everyone.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks, bye.